Yo, what is up, Stay Bent Fishing? Sorry I haven't really been posting much. I don't know, I've just kind of been busy with family and school and going fishing, obviously. So I just really haven't had time to be posting and stuff, but now I'm gonna kind of have a little bit more time because I've kind of got some stuff off my plate. So figured, you know, might as well go ahead and make a little long form video for you guys. Basically today I'm going to be going over spotted bay bass again, because in the last video I made about how to catch spotted bay bass, it just really wasn't that great of a video. I didn't really go over a good amount of stuff. So first of all, I'm going to talk about where you should be fishing. Now, spotties are a very structure-oriented fish. They're really going to want to be hugging tight to those just structural items. It could be a log down in the bottom, could be some eelgrass, could be a pylon, some rocks, just anything that they can hide in or just be next to kind of stay hidden away from those bait fish. So I'm gonna go over pylons because this is a really big part of spotted bay bass fishing, and I just feel like it's definitely something that needs to have its own little category just because of how big and how much stuff goes into fishing pylons. Well, for fishing pylons, most people like to use jigs. Now, jigs are a little metal spoon, kind of, for people who haven't seen them before, but here in California we call them micro slow pitch jigs. So these things, like a little spoon piece of metal that sinks down and flutters on the way down. There's so many different types of these things, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of these jigs, you know, because I have a whole entire box full of them, because that's mainly what I'm catching these fish on. So here are some slow pitch jigs. I'll go ahead and take a couple out for you guys to look closer at. But basically, like you can see here, just pieces of metal, and for some reason, spotties are just really attracted to these things. Alright, so first I'm going to go over a pretty simple one. This is a submission jig mercenary. So as you can see, this is in the what they call the Bream Dream color. It's 10 grams, so probably around a little bit more than 1/4 of an ounce, I think. And shoot. As you can see, it's got 2 hooks on the top. It's got a little, basically, blade shape. And the trick with this is that it flutters on the way down like that. So as you can see, for extra flash, it's got some, I don't even know what you call this, but just some like flash on the hooks that's tied on. It's got some string that goes down to each hook. And as you can see, what happens is that when this is fluttering down in that motion, these are going to be up, making more flash, and then when the spotty bites down, most of the time it's probably going to be going for this flash here. So it'll go for that flash, eat the jig, and then you set the hook, and you're on a fish. Now basically what you're going to want to be doing with these jigs is you're going to want to pitch them right next to a pylon, right next to this big, basically stick that is set into the ground of the harbor that goes straight up. It's a big concrete thing, like big concrete, I guess, pole you could call it. And these fish just love to just sit right next to those or sit behind those and wait for bait fish to come by. And basically what this is imitating is a dead or dying bait fish just fluttering down to the bottom. And when spotties see like just a fluttering, shiny object going down to the bottom, their predatorial, I guess, instinct is gonna see that and be like, oh, I gotta eat that. So they're gonna come up, bam, eat that jig, you set the hook, you're on a fish. Now there are so many different brands and types of jigs. This is a submission jig, like I said, probably one of the better brands, or top brands I guess, of jigs here in SoCal. You got plenty of other jigs made by Submission. You got the Ogre jig right here. It's a 10 gram Ogre jig, and it's more of a pencil, so when it's going down it's gonna go like this and be kind of like, you know, just going side to side. It's a more fast moving jig, so it's more for those summer bites. It also comes in a mackerel color here, and I believe they just came out with the Bream Dream color. I think I saw that on their story on Instagram, so I'll probably have to pick up a couple of those, give them a shot. They also make probably one of my favorite jigs by them. This is the Death Blade jig. So as you can see, you're like, oh, it just kind of looks like a normal jig with those. It actually has this right here. So when that's doing that, that's going to add so much extra flash. And this is a very slow sinking lure, so this is going to be adding more flash. The flash down here is going to be adding more flash. And this just really, really attracts those fish. My buddy Nolan over at Bad Luck Fishing caught a big old 23-inch halibut on this. It was insane. I was there to see him fight it and everything. These things just work so great, catch so many big fish. When I was fishing over in Long Beach, I believe it was Cabrillo Marina, I hooked onto was probably a 18, 19 inch spotty and lost him when he went to the rocks. And that was just absolutely insane. It just really shows how well these jigs work just because of how slow and just like how slow they fall. And if you have a store that sells these right in the area, or if you want to buy these online, I highly recommend these jigs. Then you have the Reaper slow pitch. This is the Reaper micro jig. Reaper is another great brand of slow pitch jig that we have here in California. This is the margarita color. It's a pretty good color. It's not bad. My favorite color of Reaper though is gonna have to be the Terminator or the Chrome Glow. I just love how much flash they put off, and what's really great about these Reaper jigs that the submission jigs don't have is this treble hook on the bottom that really makes sure that you actually hook that fish, because no matter where it bites from, you're probably gonna definitely, in fact, yeah, it's not even a probably, you're gonna hook that fish if it eats this Reaper. I got some other Reapers right here. This is a bomber. I believe, yeah, I think it's called a bomber. This is 20 grams, so I use this more for calico bass. And this is kind of in that shape where it goes like this. And I still remember I was on the pier one day, and I guess we had a white sea bass run or something. And there were so many sea bass out there, and I was just casting this in and hooking up every single time. I was only able to land one, but I probably hooked up close to 20 times, and it was insane. You just get them close to the pier, then they'd fall off because they have really soft mouths. It was just crazy on how much this jig was getting bit. So if you're fishing sea bass, calico bass, sand bass, I highly recommend the Bomber 20 gram. This is really good for those. Then you have the Ahi Ikara jig. Now this is sand bass candy right here. If you're going to Long Beach and you're fishing underneath the platforms of where the cranes are, you're gonna see there's gonna be tons of pylons underneath there, and you just drop these next to it and you will hook up on some absolute toads of sandies. I'm talking huge, like 20, 22 inches, just absolute toads just sitting underneath there. And they love these Ahi Ikara 21 gram jigs. Then I got these for ultralight fishing. I have no idea what brand these are, but when my buddy went over to Japan, he found these and they were like $1 a piece. So he was like, I gotta get some of these. So right here, I don't know what they're called, but I've caught a few little fish on them on the ultralight. And there's some pretty cool looking jigs, but just these are 5 grams. So little 5 gram jigs work really well if you're fishing ultralight for spotties. So depending on how the fish are biting that day, there's many different ways that you can retrieve these jigs. Probably the most popular way is dropping it all the way down to the bottom, hits the ground, you give it a slow reel up to probably just like maybe like a foot up, and then you start going bam, bam, bam. And so you're gonna bring that jig up and let it go slack, and it's gonna float back down. And you're hoping that if you had missed the spotty on the way down, when you do that bam, 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 and then let it flutter back, that spotty will become interested and come in and grab it. Personally though, my favorite way is to let it sink all the way down to the bottom. It hits the bottom, it's down there, and then you just slowly reel it all the way up. That's what I was doing all winter long, and I was absolutely getting hammered on the way up. Most of the time though, when you're fishing these slow pitch jigs, honestly dude, it's quite literally just you let it sink down to the bottom, and you're gonna either feel it take it on the way down, or you're gonna have it drop all the way down to the bottom, and then you're gonna start reeling. You're gonna feel like you're getting bites, and you're gonna be like, what is that? Then you're gonna set the hook, and you're gonna have a fish on because the fish actually ate it on the way down, and you mistook it going in, you mistook it hitting the ground when it was actually just going into the fish's mouth. Now my main jig setup for fishing these is this right here. This is the Daiwa Coastal, I believe 80 size. It's a super small, compact bait caster, and I love this thing for fishing those jigs because it can really throw those light lures. I have it on a St. Croix Bass X rod. This is a great rod for fishing jigs also. This is just genuinely a really great combo. I've seen this thing handle big old red drum over in Florida, and I assume I could probably handle some giant halibut and stuff here and giant spotties. And this is just honestly a really great reel all around. This rod is rated up to 1 ounce, which is perfect just in case you're gonna be, maybe you're just bringing one setup along. You're planning on fishing jigs, and then, oh, guess what? There's a white sea bass run, and they're going after big swim baits. You're like, man, I wish I had something to throw big swim baits. Well, guess what? You got a up to 1 ounce rod. You can throw those larger size swim baits in that one with that 1 ounce jig head, and you can just sling those things out there. You're gonna be fine. So I got 20-pound blue camo spider wire on this with 16-pound samurai fluoro, Daiwa samurai fluoro. And that works pretty well. Honestly, you don't really need to go over 16 pound. If you just keep getting like wrapped around pylons, you can go up to 20 pound probably for these spotties. But that's probably where you want to max out for these fish because they are kind of line shy. Alright, so that's about it. I've pretty much covered everything. Tell me if there's something else that you want me to add or some special way that you like to fish spotties where it works really well. Tell me that in the comments, and maybe I'll do it in a short or a future spotty video, or maybe I just do a grand slam of how to catch all 3 bass in one video. Maybe I decide to do that, but just, again, let me know. Make sure you comment on this video because I love reading your guys' comments. It's just so much fun. And thank you guys for all the support, getting me to 400 subscribers. I mean, that's just insane. You know, like back in September, I was at like 0, and then you guys have got me up to 400 by February. That's insane. I just thank you guys so much for that. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching this video, and make sure you guys sub to Stay Bent Fishing, and go watch some more videos. YouTube thinks that you'd like this video, and yeah, again, make sure you guys subscribe. See ya.